With us right now is Sheila Tatanko Bartoloni, the Director of Marketing and Communications from Downey Federal Credit Union. Welcome. Thank you for being such a huge part of this event and one of our sponsors.
Of course. We're always glad to support anything that happens in Downey and for the betterment of Downey. So,
How long have you been with Downey Federal Credit Union?
well, I have been here for 3 years, but I am a graduate of Warren High School, and it was almost I'm sorry. It was almost full circle for me because I grew up in Downey, left for a little while, but we always come back to Downey. So, I came back to Downey Federal Credit Union, and I love everything they stood for. So, of course, love working for them.
All roads lead back to Downey.
Yeah.
Exactly. So why would you say it's important for the Downey Federal Credit Union to support these district elections?
Well, like I said, Downey Federal Credit Union is a unique credit union or a unique financial institution. Unlike the big banks, we are really catering towards, or we really do cater towards, everybody who lives, works, worships, or goes to school in Downey and their family members. And we kind of put our money where our mouth is, we say, because we're not just serving them financially, but through education, in the schools, financial education at the adult schools and so on, and everything that we do, supporting of the chamber, supporting of the city and all the events in the community. We're always supporting that. So
So can you tell us a little bit about some of Downey Federal Credit Union's upcoming initiatives?
sure, there's so many, but let me start with, actually right now we have our student enrichment grants that are out. It's a wonderful, wonderful, I would say, program that we do every year. So basically, teachers in all the schools, any Downey school, can submit their ideas that are kind of out of the box and not within the normal curriculum, but really help students learn. And we give out grants. We give out 15 grants. Ranging, from $250 to $1,000. And so we've been doing this. I think we've given away over $100,000 in the past 8 years. So it's a great program. And of course we have, as you all know, because you've all been there, one of our main goals is to eradicate hunger in Downey. So we're always working on our Feeding Children Everywhere, DFCU Cares annual food packing event. And this year, just like Downey, it's our upcoming 60th anniversary. So we're targeting 60,000 meals. So get the word out because all the meals stay in Downey. And we love, love, love that because that was one of our goals because we didn't want to go to LA County. We wanted it all to stay in Downey, and it does. So
And when does this event usually take place?
it's in April along with ours, And this year it'll be at Warren High School. Last year it was there as well. So thank you, Warren High School. But yes, and we're anticipating over 500 volunteers because we had about that many this year that helped us pack over 50,000 meals last year within, I think, 60 minutes. So
As a graduate from Warren,
yes.
what changes have you seen that started, when you were in high school and then you're back? So
Just the city, I remember coming back for the first time for the interview, and the city just changed so much. It has flourished so much, I'm sure, with the guidance of all this council members and everybody, and everybody involved in the city. It's so involved. Just the growth, even close to my heart, places to eat, the commerce. The schools look so different from when I remember coming back or graduating. Downey High School is so beautiful and huge. Warren High School, the field is in a different place than it was, but just the flourishing of just the economy, the commerce and everything, and obviously that's owed to those that lead. So.
it definitely is. And there is a difference because I am a graduate of Downey High School.
Okay. We still get along though, so that's okay.
Okay. And I would experience the grand opening of their new wing with
Yeah.
the auto shop
Yeah.
and the photo shop and culinary. And
It's
I
just-
really wanted to re-enroll in high school.
And
I mean, most people don't want to go back to high school, but I really did.
I didn't even know they had a culinary.
Student.
Yeah.
A full
Yeah,
RA.
exactly. It's
Right.
amazing. Yeah. And just all the changes are just great. So, and it's a great place to be right now. All the changes happening and we love being part of that. So,
Well, thank you so much for stopping by to see us.
oh, no
It was great
problem.
talking to you.
Always glad to support the city of
And
Downey.
thank you for sponsoring the event tonight.
Of
We
course.
can't wait to see you later.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Okay.
Welcome back to the red carpet event prior to our big debate coming up tonight in the city of Downey. We are sitting here with Sue England, the president of the Downey Rosefoot Association. Welcome.
Good evening, ladies.
So tell us what's been happening at the Rose Float.
Lots of prep for this year's float coming up for 2017. Lots of fundraising, lots of events, just getting ready.
So tell me how you became involved in the Rose Float.
I became involved in the Rose Float when I was 17 years old, begrudgingly. My mother forced me, and I said, okay, I live in your house, I need to do this. So I started helping her behind the scenes, and then as years went on, I became a member myself, and the rest is history. Here I am, just 20 years later.
And so, what would you say is some of your favorite things about being president of the Rose Float Association?
Actually, all the city events that I get to do, that's great. Being out in the public, knowing that the association is community orientated. It's not just men or women or children. It's everything. Our oldest member just turned 95, and then we have little children that are members, and everybody can participate. It's wonderful. It's a big family.
One of the great things about Deck Week is seeing 6-year-olds work with 90-year-olds side by side, getting ready to make one project successful. I think that's amazing.
Yes, it is amazing, and that you'll find that they start young, and it gets in your blood. It's just something that you just can't imagine, and you think, okay, I'll go put some flowers on, and it'll be fun. But then, 10 years later, you're like, I'm still here, and it just gets in your blood, and because it's so community and it's so family, and your whole family can do it. It's wonderful.
It's funny because I started when I was in high school, and I just started bringing my little brother. And my little brother's 6 years old, and he loved it. What he loved the best was gluing on the petals and getting that glue stuck all over his pants and his face. So, it's really exciting. So, yes, definitely. The fact that there's 6-year-olds and there's like 80-year-olds, they're working. So I think that's extremely awesome.
It's wonderful, and I do have my Deck Week clothes I only wear during Deck Week. And I can say this is 19 something, and this is 2000, and this is paint, and this is glue. It's just, and every year they get washed and put back for next year. Yes.
So we fundraise for this all year long.
Yes, we do.
What are the biggest fundraisers that you enjoy?
We have Parade of Winners coming up on October 23rd, and we still have tickets available. And
Shameless plug.
Yes, hello, plug. But that is one of our biggest, along with the Miss Downey pageant that will be in April this year. And we get all the young girls of the city to come and participate and be in our court. And our Miss Court does ride on our float every year. So that's just phenomenal.
And speaking of our float, I think we're going to swap you out
Okay.
with our construction chair, Kelly Roberts,
Well,
who
thank
can
you.
give us a little insight on what's going to happen with the float this year.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I enjoyed listening.
Thank you
to
for
debate.
joining us.
All right.
Thank you.
So the Downey Rose Float Association has been involved in the city for many, many years. And just as long as the association's been involved, I would say that this gentleman's been involved, but I would be dating him. How long exactly have you been construction chair?
I've been construction chair for over 27 years.
And how long have you been involved in the association?
I've been donating my time to the Rose Float for 37 years.
And you started when you were...
Oh, about 2 feet tall.
So I've heard rumors on the street. Well, actually, I've seen the rendering. What is in store for the Rose Float this year? What float is the Rose Float building?
Well, this year the Rose Float is constructing a functioning roller coaster on a moving platform. It's titled the Gold Rush. There's only been 2 other times in the history of the Rose Parade that a coaster has actually been assembled on a moving platform. It was first done in the 70s. It was done once again in 2000 by Downey Rose Float, and we're going to attempt it one more time.
And the theme of the parade is?
Echoes of Success.
And what is more successful in California than the Gold Rush?
I can't think of anything else.
Me neither.
Everybody loves gold.
And as for this roller coaster that's on the float, so can anybody ride this roller coaster, or is there only some special people?
Well, there's only a few special people that are going to ride it. I'll be riding it on that famous day, going down Colorado Boulevard, and we'll see how my body takes it towards the end of that 2.5-hour journey.
So most people think that on New Year's Day, all the floats just miraculously appear on Colorado Boulevard and make that journey. When do you actually start building the float?
Believe it or not, the actual thought process of the 2017 Rose Parade was thought of in 2015, towards the end of it. So it's around December we start thinking of the next year's float, the following year's float, and then we start designing it and drawing it, and then we take it to the tournament house where we have a themed draft, and we'll submit our drawing. Whether tournament approves it or not, I have to wait 3 weeks to find out. And when we find out, we start the construction shortly thereafter. We usually do a few modifications to the float chassis in order to accommodate whatever type of float we're putting on it. So we started around May this year.
And this year was a little bit awkward because you had a piece of stolen track. How did that affect the building of the float?
It actually set it back about a month and a half, 2 months. The one piece of track is very critical. It takes from the top turn and into the important drop, so it takes the gravity the rest of the way. So that one piece of track basically set us back a long time. It was all custom made and designed, and we had to rebuild that one piece. And it's still in the process of being rebuilt.
So when do you think the construction will be finished for the float?
Well, the parade is on January 2nd this year, and I think the construction will be done January 3rd.
That's great. So if people want to decorate the float, when do you start decoration?
Well, we start the decoration of the float on December 26th at 10 a.m. We work 10 to 10. Sometimes we work a little later depending upon what we're doing, but the normal hours are December 26th through this year, December 31st, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. Well, we will see you in December, the week of December 26th
Through the 31st.
through the 31st. And we look forward to seeing you on the 2nd in the parade.
Well, I look forward to seeing all the volunteers come down and help decorate this float. We're going to need all the help we can get. It's a lot to cover.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Joining us next is Ramona Pratt, the Chief Operating Officer from PIH Downey.
Hello.
Hi,
Nice to be here.
nice to
Thank you
meet
for having
you.
me.
Thank you. So it's been 3 months since you joined the PIH Downey family. And how are you enjoying your time so far?
It's been an interesting experience. While I'm new to the organization as the Chief Operating Officer, I've been with PIH Health for over 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's been interesting getting to know the organization and the community. I've come to a couple of community events so far, and it's really great to see how Downey has impacted the community over the last several decades related to the healthcare. And so we're really looking forward to continuing to partner with the community.
Awesome. So in the last, so you've been with PIH for 30 years, you said?
Yes.
Which seems impossible. But what prepared you for this role?
So I started at PIH Health as a nursing assistant at the beginning of my career while I was in nursing school. And then once I graduated with my registered nurse, I started my career doing bedside nursing, and then went into various leadership positions and ultimately ended up in executive leadership.
Oh, wow.
And I also have a couple of master's degrees, one in healthcare administration and one in nursing administration.
Very nice.
And so with that being said, so what is your vision for the hospital and the community?
So we want to continue to work towards partnering with the community and improving the health of the community. One of the collaboratives we're involved with is Stay Healthy Downey, which works in providing community information, community health information, and working towards improving health of the local communities that we serve. And so our vision is really continuing to be a viable healthcare organization that's here for everyone that we encounter.
So there's been a lot of movement at PIH recently. What types of things can we expect to see?
So right now we have a tremendous amount of work going on related to improving the facilities at PIH Health Downey. A lot of information technology implementation going on. We did 3 major projects this summer. A lot of medical capital coming into the building. And so, and a lot of education for staff. And all of these things combined, we're really working towards improving the patient experience and improving the quality of the care provided to the people who come into the organization.
So, and as for healthcare is such a big term. So, what do you think people should know about this?
So coincidentally, right now we're starting open enrollment season, and so it's important for people as they're making plans for any changes to their health services that they not only have a good understanding of which physician or medical group they're going to select, but to also research what hospital is part of that plan's services. And in doing so, they'll end up with the ultimate healthcare experience that they're seeking.
Great.
I would like to say that I am an avid visitor of the emergency room.
I hope not too much.
Not too much, just a few times.
Okay.
But my experience has been very good.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
If I have to get hurt, I hope it's in Downey.
Of course.
And we'll be there to take care of you.
Thank you. Ramona, thank you so much for joining us tonight and also sponsoring this event. We couldn't have done it without our sponsors. And we'd like to talk to you a little bit more about some of the projects you have going on. I know that there's things with the emergency room that you have changed or are in the process of changing.
Yes, thank you for asking about that. So we did a groundbreaking for the emergency department expansion. So we're going to be expanding by about 5,000 square feet. And that includes more than doubling the space in the waiting room. While we don't like to have patients or families wait, sometimes that's a necessary part of emergency departments. And so that expansion is going to be starting early next year. And we're very excited. Originally, the ER was built to handle about 25,000 patient visits a year. We're up to 50,000 patient visits a year. So we need a little more space to provide a better experience for the patients coming in. So we're very excited about that. That's going to be really great when we're finished.
But the job that you do right now with filtering everyone through is very effective, I think. Just based on my experience.
Yes, we use best practices for triaging patients and ensuring that the sickest patients are cared for as the priority. But we do get to everybody eventually. So we've been doing a lot of work in the emergency department to improve the care for the community.
So can I ask you a little rumor?
Oh, sure.
So I think it's funny because there are people who will go in through an ambulance to get to the back door, so they think they get treated faster. Which I think is funny because then I see these people, when I've been in there, I see them just kind of, in the hallway,
Right.
But they're not as sick as somebody that's in a room.
Right. So we have heard that as well. Luckily that doesn't happen very often
Right.
because obviously that's not good for the paramedic emergency services in the
Exactly.
city. But they still go through the same triage processes as a patient who walks in the door.
Okay.
And so the triage system is what determines which patients are seen first, not whether you came in by paramedic or whether you walked in.
I just think that's a great rumor that people start.
Yes. Yes.
So what are some of the fun things that happen at the hospital?
Fun things. So because we're doing so many performance improvement activities, we're doing a lot of celebratory types of things and competitions between departments to get them engaged in performance improvement. And so we just started a new patient customer service program called We're Listening. And so we've got a little bit of competition going on between departments to see who can improve their patient experience scores the most with some prizes. And so people in healthcare are pretty competitive. From physicians to the environmental services folks. And so a good competition usually gets us pretty good results when we're doing performance improvement. So we do a lot of fun things like that.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to see some of the new things that PIH is working on. And not that I want to visit the emergency room, but for the grand opening, I'll definitely be there.
Yes, we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It was
Thank
a pleasure.
you.
Thanks.
It's nice
Thank
meeting
you.
So that was Ramona Pratt from the PIH Health in Downey. She is the new Chief Operating Officer and also one of the PIH Downey is one of the sponsors for the event tonight. Once again, my name is Jennifer DK. I'm the publisher of the Downey Patriot newspaper, and I am co-hosting with Emily Lopez, Miss Downey 2016. We're very excited for tonight's debate. This is one of the only debates in the city that's ever happened in the city at this magnitude, live broadcast on the DowneyPatriot.com. And we're very excited to be hosting that tonight, along with our sponsors, PIH Health and Downey Federal Credit Union, and the Downey Chamber of Commerce and Downey Brewing Company. So Emily, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but with those restaurants in town, have you been to Cinemark?
Yes, I actually have been to Cinemark, and definitely those seats. I actually just want to go in there to take a nap because I'm watching the movie and end up falling asleep because it's just way too comfortable. So yeah, I definitely love that about Cinemark. Which movies have you seen recently?
I think the first movie I saw was Star Wars there, and it was in 3D, and I sat in the very front row, like that. And it was the seats were very, very comfortable though, so I really don't think you can find a bad seat in that theater.
Exactly, but the only thing is though is that if you try to go the night of, you're most likely not going to find any seats because they fill up quick. So
That's true.
Make sure you make your reservations, get your tickets way ahead of time, or else you're going to be stuck on the first row.
Right.
So.
Some of the other things that may have, some of the other places that I also loved that have been in part of Downey for the last 60 years but are no longer in town. Do you remember Granada's?
No, I don't. What
Granada's
was that?
Italian restaurant was my go-to pesto pasta chicken. It was so delicious.
Wow.
So we have a lot of different restaurants at downtown Downey now.
Yes, exactly.
We have Lock and Key and Joseph's.
Yeah, no, actually, one of my favorite, I recently went to Lock and Key and had one of their burgers. I'm not sure which burger it was, but they all have these crazy names.
Right,
but
right.
Their burgers were absolutely amazing. I no longer will be going to any other burger place but there. So definitely have to check out those burgers at Lock and Key.
Aside from food, there's also a lot of nonprofits in town. And I think we're one of the biggest nonprofits that we have. So also joining us right now is Eric Pierce. He is our editor for the Downey Patriot.
How are you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's pretty exciting today, right?
It is.
Is this our first city council debate?
I don't know if it's our first city council debate, but I know it's our first live broadcasted city
I
council debate.
I know. Look at us.
I know, right?
I've been downstairs this whole since about 5:30, and kind of watching the candidates come in and their family, their friends, and their supporters, and there's a really cool energy in the room right now. It's people are excited, people are nervous, which they shouldn't be, but people are really anxious to hear what people are going to say. So this year we have 9 candidates running for city council, which is pretty remarkable, and every candidate in every district has an opponent, which doesn't always happen. But
Right.
I think it's really good for democracy. It's good for our city, but everybody has an opponent. So it makes it really interesting from our perspective, from the Downey Patriot perspective, and it also makes it important for residents to be informed because they really have to make a choice. They have to know who they're going to vote for and why they're going to vote for, because each of the candidates are very different.
Right.
So it's very important for them to be here and to learn about what they have to say.
It seems like each of the candidates bring a different thing to the table as well. Like all of their backgrounds are extremely diverse in each district
Right.
as well.
Right. And what's funny too is that we have some really young candidates, and we have some more mature, experienced. Yeah. So it makes it very interesting because what are you going for? Do you want youth and new ideas, or do you value experience? And do you want people who have been in Downey forever and have their own and have ideas? Like, what is it that you value the most? What is it that you want from a city council candidate? Are you happy with the way Downey, the direction that Downey is going to, or do you want a change? It's kind of the fundamental questions, which is going to be really interesting for the election, because I think it's going to say a lot about what the Downey voters want.
Right.
In Downey.
Well, the last few years there has been so much change in Downey. You've had the aerospace industry kind of segue out, and then you've had this huge promenade come in.
Right.
With lots of restaurants and more engaging social activities and things like that.
Right. And a Walmart too. We have
And a
We
Walmart.
have a Walmart in there. You can't forget Walmart. No, but Downey's definitely been changing. I mean, it's funny. I remember maybe, 4 or 5 years ago. You guys know this. The one complaint was, one, there's nothing to do in Downey. That was a big complaint. And then two, there's nowhere to eat in Downey. You can't really say that anymore, especially the second part.
You can't
There's
say that
so
anymore.
many
No.
restaurants here. Like whatever you want to go, whatever your choice is, you have options.
Right.
So it's you can't really say that. So what is it now that voters want in Downey? And I think we're going to learn a little about that tonight.
I think that's great.
Yeah. And I know, some of the things that we've been getting feedback on, because we've been we're actually live tweeting this tonight.
great. Awesome.
And so we've already started getting some feedback, and some of the issues are, one, the condition of our streets.
Right.
That's the big one. Two, park space. We don't have nearly enough parks. And also somebody tweeted us this about an hour ago, is they don't think it's fair that residents have to pay a fee to use a facility, say at the gym or the softball fields. You have to pay a fee for a permit to use it.
Right.
Some people think it's not fair. So is it fair? I don't know. But we might be asking that question during the debate tonight.
Another thing that I've heard complaints about is all of the housing going up in Downey, in the
Absolutely.
smaller spaces.
Absolutely. Every small space, empty space of vacant land it seems like is being redeveloped into housing, into townhomes. We had that huge complex on Paramount and 4th.
Right.
There's going to be 117 townhomes. They're going to be nice, I think, but they're right up on the sidewalk.
There's no porch, right? It's
No,
kinda
there's no
just-
porch.
No.
It's right
There it
on
is.
there.
One
Absolutely.
wrong move and you'll be a speed bump.
Yes, absolutely.
There you go.
And then downtown, we're getting a ton of new housing downtown, and it's developing. It's developing so quickly.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us, Eric. We have Bob Arthur, I see, waiting.
I'm gonna stick around. I think you have
Okay.
to go back there. I think
I
they're
do.
gonna put you to work. We're gonna bring in Bob Arthur.
Put me to work.
Yes, we're gonna put you
All
to
right,
work.
great. It was
All
great
right.
chatting.
Oh, look at this. Bob, how are you?
Good, Eric. How are you?
Good. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Have a
you.
seat.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, dear.
So Bob is very active in Downey. He's a familiar face wherever he is. It's funny. I actually saw Bob at a Dodger game too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's funny because I see Bob
nice.
everywhere, and I
And
see
they
him at
won
Dodger.
tonight.
Oh, they did. They did.
won tonight, 4-3.
Yeah, they did. So Bob, can you tell us a little bit what's new at Cerritos College?
There's a great deal going on at Cerritos College. Of course, all of the construction and the buildings we're going to be opening and ribbon cutting with our fine arts and CIS math building right after the first of the year. We're at midterms now. There's approximately 22,000 students that are enrolled again this semester, which is about average for every semester at Cerritos College. As you reported in your newspaper, we just concluded the negotiations with our faculty unions, and things are going very well at Cerritos. It's a great place to be.
Absolutely.
And as for some of the new projects, I know Cerritos, there's always new things coming in. So can you tell us a little about some of the new things that are coming to the college?
Well, yes, I can. We're in the process of we've hired some consultants to look at developing the college towards a corporate college initiative. There hasn't been a great deal of announcement about it. It's along the lines what Dr. Fiaro, president of the college, has brought to the community with our Cerritos Complete package. But we're expanding along those lines and developing it towards a corporate college initiative that will bring to the community more along the lines of what the college can do to support all of the businesses and the corporations, not just in our particular area, but through the greater Southern California, Orange County type area. It's quite unique, quite creative, and quite innovative. When I first got on the board in 1995, Cerritos College tagged itself as the most technologically advanced community college in the state. At that time, there were 110 community colleges in the state. No one disagreed with us. Now, whether or not that was a true fact or not, but nobody disagreed with us. And Cerritos College has always been innovative and very creative. We took the term technology. We created, with the help of Professor Sue Parsons, who just recently retired, the teacher track program, our technology programs, our automotive training programs, the creativeness and the contracts that we have, the memorandum of understanding, and bringing Northwood University onto the campus, a 4-year bachelor degree program on our campus where students can enroll on our campus for their first 3 years of their collegiate life at our tuition rates, and then enroll at Northwood University on our campus at their tuition rates and get a bachelor's degree in business and or automotive management.
So you can actually get a bachelor's without even leaving the campus?
Without ever leaving the parking lot.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
And at our campus. We're one of the only community colleges with a program like that anywhere in the country.
Oh, wow.
And we've had this in place now for about 8 years, I think it is, 8 or 9 years.
Oh, wow.
And we're continually moving along those lines of innovative, being creative, making Cerritos College one of the top 10, if not top 5 community colleges in the country, in the state. I attended, we had the college had its STEM open house just last week. And one of our students gave a presentation on paleontology. And she was participating in an archaeological dig in St. George, Utah. And she was the only community college student that was invited to participate in this. I believe it was a 3-week expedition. The only community college student across the nation that participated in this. That speaks volumes about what we do at Cerritos College in being that creative and assisting our students in having them participate at not just 2-year institution, but at a 4-year creative institution.
Right.
I'm looking for the future. One of my goals is to bring digital textbooks, expand what we call our Kaleidoscope program, where digital textbooks will be provided to every section, every class on campus, free to our students. Our tuition is mandated by the state, but textbook costs are enormous. They're skyrocketing, they always have been. But if we can continue to expand those programs and have free textbooks to our students, enrollment is going to skyrocket, new revenues are going to generate. And I look at students wanting to come to our campus from other institutions that are around us, other community college, and come and be at our students.
Well, I'm sure the students would really appreciate cheaper textbooks.
No, that's for
Not
sure.
cheaper, free.
Oh, free.
Free.
No cost.
No cost.
That's
and these will
amazing.
be there. They can take notes, they can highlight, they can do whatever they need
That
to,
would be
print
amazing.
pages if they need to. It's all there, the technologies.
access
And 4-year institutions like Harvard, Michigan, all other institutions, but we already have it on our campus. We just need to expand it.
Oh, wow. That would be incredible. You know, just driving past Cerritos College, it doesn't feel like a community college.
Right.
It feels like university, and I think that really says a lot to what you and the board are doing over at Cerritos College. Bob, thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank
really
you
appreciate
so very
it.
much.
Thank you so
very
much.
Thank you. Thank you
It's
for having us.
a pleasure and an honor. And thank you for all that you do for the city of Downey. And
Thank you so much.
I enjoy being here. Thank you
we
very
enjoy
much for
our
your time.
partnership with Cerritos College.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Up next, we have with us Lori Tyler. She's a president of the Downey Chamber of Commerce, and she's also with Financial Partners Credit Union. What's your position, Financial Partners?
Vice President of Member Sales and Service.
Oh, very nice. So what's new at the chamber?
Well, you know what? I am so excited. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. We are so excited about the things that are happening at the chamber. We've got a great group of people that are representing over 400 members in the city of Downey, and those are business owners here in town and businesses that large, small, and in between. So we're so very excited to be able to serve them. We have some exciting things coming up with the chamber. We have the Christmas parade coming up.
Oh, yes.
It's everybody's favorite, and it'll be on December 4th, on Sunday, December 4th. And Don Kanabi, we're excited about him being our Grand Marshal this year. And this year we're going to do things just a little bit different. So we're going to have a 5K run in the morning, and that will be down the parade route and then around the city, end up on the parade route again. And after the parade, everybody will have an opportunity to join in some family festivities in a little festival that we'll have down in the parking lot of the Civic Center.
Great. So it's 3 events in one day.
3 events in one day, making a whole day of it. It'll be a lot of fun.
That parade is one of the premier events in Downey.
Oh, yes.
It's so much fun.
It's
You
so
you
much
have
fun.
I don't know if we have thousands of people. You have a lot of people
Thousands.
down Downey Avenue. It's so much fun. I think most people are very grateful that the chamber is continuing to do that tradition.
Thank you. We're excited to be able to present that to the city every year. Very fun.
And so I see that there's been a lot of ribbon cuttings
Yes.
just within the past month. And yeah, so how do you enjoy those? I know you're at every single one of them.
We try to be at every single one of them, and it is a lot of fun. We're so happy that we're welcoming new businesses to the city. I mean, what a great place to live and a great place to work. We're so fortunate that we have leadership within the city that supports the chamber and supports our businesses, and we are so happy to be able to help those businesses as they come in, to help them get situated, let people know where they are, and bring them some publicity. So very exciting.
Lori, thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for everything that you do over at the Downey Chamber.
Oh, sure, my pleasure. Thank you,
Especially now with the
Eric.
promenade, you're super busy. So thank you so
Always.
much.
Thank you
Really
so
great.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori. All right, so up next we have George Red Fox. He is, he has many hats. How are you, George?
I am good. How about
I know him from Warren.
Yeah.
I sure do.
So George is a teacher at Warren High School.
Yes.
He's also heavily involved with preservation efforts here in the city of Downey. I know that's not easy.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not easy.
So let me ask you this really quick. So heading into the debates tonight,
Okay.
what are you looking for from the candidates?
Well, for me, I'm looking at a candidate who will actually, hopefully, support historic preservation in the city of Downey, simply because I like to see the history preserved for the kids and the future generations and all that kind of stuff. It just it's really important. We've lost so much of it over the last probably 20 years that if we go another 20 years without something being done, I think we're probably going to lose pretty much everything.
Right. And how do you balance historical preservation and also a homeowner's rights? Because I know that's always that's a fine line. So how do you balance that?
Well, nothing is really set in stone. Even if there is some kind of a historic preservation ordinance, if there was one, there are still ways that you can still build onto your house, and you can do it just a different way. It's a different way of building so that it matches the neighborhood, and you can still build though.
Sure.
You just have to keep it within reason so it doesn't be a detriment to someone else's property.
Right. Are there any properties that you're concerned about here in Downey?
I'm always concerned about some of the big ones. The Reeves Mansion's always a concern to me. The McDonald's, the original one, even though they're pretty much national landmarks. There's still no city protection. So if there's no protection within the city, all preservation is local. So you run into problems with things being torn down that way. The construction fence goes up, and all of a sudden you have a house being torn down, or a historic building being torn down, or whatever it might be.
We saw that recently with the Ball House on Cherokee Drive, and that was a really magnificent house, and it's not there anymore.
Nope.
You know, it was interesting getting back to the city council debate. One of your former students is running for city council, Art Montoya.
Yes, he is.
He's
one of my students.
What's it like to kind of see him running for council?
You know what? He was a great kid when I had him in class, and I actually had a historic scavenger hunt that year. We did like a thing where he had to go out and take pictures, and the first one who came back with all the right, correct locations,
Sure.
then I gave him a little $5 gift card, if I remember right, for Starbucks or something.
Right.
He's the one who came back first, so everything right. So it was good.
Oh,
So it
nice.
must be exciting to see him up there now. And
Excited, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, awesome.
Hey, George, thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining us, and I hope you have a good time tonight.
All right, have a good one, you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
George.
Great seeing you.
All right, good seeing you.
All right, up next we have Sergio Vasquez. Sergio, how are you, Sergio?
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Hello,
good.
how you doing?
Sergio is the owner of Downey Brewing Company, and he's also one of our 3 main sponsors here for the Downey debate. So we want to thank you, Sergio, because without you and our sponsors, this debate really wouldn't happen. And I know we're all having a good time, it's fun, but it really is important. We're trying to get a message out to residents. So tell us a little bit about Downey Brewing. What's new over there?
Well, thank you, and thanks for allowing us to participate in this important debate. Downey Brewing is constantly doing a lot of events at the restaurant. We try to mix it up so that everybody finds a opportunity to visit us. We have Wednesdays, we have a karaoke. We also do a lot of UFC. We do a lot of pay-per-view events that many times people don't find a location to be able to watch them. So we try to do that. And anytime there's a big sporting event, we're surely making space to make sure that a lot of people can go and visit us there.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny? Right before you, we had George Redfox on here, and we were talking about historical preservation. Your building used to be Foxy's. It used to be the Nordic Fox. Did you choose to keep the same theme, the same restaurant? Because you haven't changed too much of it.
Well, one of the things that we kind of received as a visit when we started the restaurant was a visit from the Historical Society of Downey. They kind of asked us, they said, can you kind of leave things the way they are?
Sure.
Because a lot of people do remember this from when they were very young coming to the restaurant. So we decided to work around that, incorporate some new stuff, but to try to keep the feel of old chateau so that
Sure.
people would enjoy it.
Sure, very nice.
And so, what would you say that a Downey Brewing Company is known for to the people here in Downey?
Well, we are known for Das Boot. It's a German-style boot in which people can drink out of their beer. We have also 62 beers on tap. Wow. We have a very, very, viable menu that goes along with our beers. And we have a lot of sporting events that people can come and enjoy.
Awesome, great.
Sergio, thank you so much for
My
joining
pleasure.
us and for sponsoring this, and we hope we could work together again in the future.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good time.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay.
You can just you banter. I'm pulling you out,
Okay.
and you can walk on in. We're still live. I need that microphone that he had. Step on in, yes, sir. And you're still on.
Okay, so now we have with us our Mayor Pro Tem, Fernando Vasquez. Hello, welcome.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for being here with us. So I know it's a very exciting night for Downey here. It's the first time we're doing something like this. So how do you feel about this debate and bringing all the candidates here tonight?
Huge night for our city, and most of all, I think most importantly for our residents. The chance that they get to be out here today and ask questions and hear what the candidates' positions are on several things. It's nice also we're going social media live also. It's huge for our city. We're a much younger city, 35-year-old average median age. The fact we're able to reach out to our community, and Downey Patriot putting this together, phenomenal job. Congratulations to your entire team.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, and we're super excited. I know that a lot of people are watching live right now, those who aren't able to make it. So what do you think that some of our residents should be concerned about? What should they be looking forward to hearing here tonight?
One of the biggest questions is what's the candidate's position on public safety? How do they intend on addressing the issue? Everybody talks about they want more police, more fire, but I want to hear from the candidates what's their plan. I want to know from each candidate how they intend on getting this done. And then also on fiscal responsibility. Everybody talks about we got to be more fiscal responsible, but show us a plan. Give us details how exactly you're going to get things done.
Exactly. No, because it's definitely one thing to just say you're going to do it and say you're going to do this, but it's definitely about, creating that plan and going with that. So definitely having that plan, I believe it's also extremely important. So as for these changes in Downey that I know you've been a part of, you've seen come in, what are some of the greatest improvements you believe Downey recently?
I think our downtown Downey, phenomenal job. I remember growing up here as a kid, going out to college and coming back, where you had a anchor as your downtown, you had a mortuary. And so it was a really dead downtown. So the joke around town always was you have a mortuary that's your anchor of a dead downtown, kind of an oxymoron. So seeing the portals come in, be the genesis for all that redevelopment in downtown, huge, huge success. And now you're starting to see other business owners starting to come into the area. And then also the promenade, another addition to our community. 6 years ago, one of the biggest issues was, hey, we're tired of going to Long Beach, Pasadena, outside of our city to go and eat. We don't have a lot of dining. And now I think the residents can say, we've addressed that. We've done a lot of that.
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot to do now, especially now because, of course, people are always saying, oh, what is there to do? What is there to do? Now I believe there's so much to do. So what would you say is some of your favorite things to do while you're here in Downey?
I love biking around town. The bike lane is starting to come forward together. I love the steak alley, what they do here in downtown Downey. The art walks, also the summer concert nights that we have at the rooftop parking structure. These are all new things coming in, and stay tuned for next year when hopefully I get the chance to serve again as mayor in our city. We'll have a lot of more events in the downtown area to bring our young families out and show that Downey pride.
Right, exactly. And then I have also noticed that a lot of the events coming in are a lot having to do with art and the culture. Like, why do you believe that's important to bring that into our city as well?
Our city's getting much younger. Our demographics has changed also. So part of that is how do we get families to come out on a Thursday or Friday evening into our city, in our downtown, in a place where they feel comfortable and safe. And I think a lot of the arts provide that. And also listen, I'm a big believer in STEM. But not everybody's in science and engineering. So how do we be able to express and show support for other areas of education? I think art, people can express themselves many different ways, and art really provides an avenue for that.
Exactly. No, definitely. I definitely agree. And as for, I know with the events that we've had that, have to do with the art and the culture, the rooftop Havana nights and with the Greek nights. So how do you like those? I know you've been to those as well.
Fun events, especially seeing the mayor lead the conga line there and his Havana nights, great. So, but no, it's been a great thing for our community. That started about 2 years ago. Actually, when I was mayor, that was an idea. We wanted to get more events in the downtown, and we met with a lot of residents and staff, and the idea came out back from New York. New York does this a lot. And so that's the idea came. It was a pilot program, and I think overall we've been able to show that they've been pretty successful. And so expect that and a little more next year also.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for that because just this year, I felt like the fourth floor on the parking lot was just going to break because of all the people dancing and coming in. So that was extremely fun. And then as well as the International Food and Music Festival, that was extremely, I know that every year it continues to get bigger and bigger. So what changes have you seen there? What improvements?
The first one we had, it started with Taste of Downey, the history back in 2009, and now it's evolved where it's we want to be more cohesive, more where you could attract different cultures, the diversity in our city, and we've been averaging about 15 to 20,000 people on that day. So it's far exceeded expectations that we ever thought imaginable.
No, yeah, that's awesome. No, I know that's definitely one of the events that I always look forward to every year, getting to taste all that food and then all those different music. And now there's 3 bands out there. So yeah, no, it's definitely been awesome. So, and then as for just so tell us about your time in city council. How long have you been on city council, and what kind of changes have you seen? What have you done while in office?
This is my 6th year on the city council, and I've been blessed and fortunate to be able to represent the city of Downey. I was elected as one of the youngest ones ever, and so I was. As I look back, and you get a little more nostalgic your second term because now you're thinking about legacy. What do you want to be? What do you want to leave behind? I love the fact that we've become our downtown Downey has been redeveloped. You're seeing the action, and you're seeing more and more restaurants coming into the area, and then also you're also seeing the other thing is soccer. You're seeing that. I've been a big proponent of that. We had the first FIFA World Cup viewing party here in our city. Childhood obesity goes up, so we got to continue to be active in terms of keeping our families and young kids active. So looking forward to bringing with Rancho Los Amigos next year, and then also a couple things we have in a couple parks coming up next year, which we'll be announcing in December. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, yeah. So we're definitely excited for that. And so just about. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and bring on Eric Pierce from the Downey Patriot. So he's going to go on in and come in, ask some questions.
Big questions now. Eric.
So Fernando has to go back, and he actually wants to get his seat. Okay. The debate is going to start in a few minutes. Okay. So it's interesting. I don't know if people know, but nobody knows the questions that are going to be asked of the candidates. The only person who knows is Christian Brown, the moderator. So that keeps it completely 100% fair. It's going to be a surprise. Nobody was briefed. Christian is the person who has all the questions. No answers, only questions. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to start in just a few minutes. Are there any questions that you're looking forward to be answered?
Oh yes, definitely. Some of the questions that I'm really hoping that they answer is just I want to know just all of their involvement that they've had within the city, and not just just right now. Recently, I'd like to know about what their experiences have been in the community. What have they done to make a difference in our community? Because I believe in order to be able to run for a city council position, you must know what's going on, what needs to be improved on, and definitely having a plan on how to fix things and how to bring about change into the community.
Right. And I'm looking for, I want specific answers from candidates. I don't want, I hope we don't get generic terms. I want really specific answers. For example, we have on the ballot Measure S, which is a proposed half-cent sales tax increase. I would like to know their position on it, whether they support it or if they don't support it, the reasons why. Another issue is housing. There's housing going up everywhere. There's also lack of affordable housing in Downey. Is that a position that they have any kind of opinion on? Downtown parking is a big one. I know that's in the works right now. The growth of our downtown is an issue. Homelessness is an issue in Downey. And I don't know if these questions are going to be asked of the candidates, but these are some of the general issues facing Downey today, and I hope we get some answers.
No, right, definitely, because there's definitely a lot to be done. So we have to see, what they're going to have to offer here for our city. And so, do you know about some of the rules of the debate? Can you kind of explain to us, how it's going to work and whatnot?
Well, before Christian's going to come out right now, he's going to explain all the details of it.
Okay.
But it's going to be very fair. It's going to be very organized, and we're going to be starting the debate. I'm told in just a minute or two. And are we going to go to them now? Are we starting now?
Okay.
Okay, it's almost, we're almost there. We're almost there. So we have all 9 candidates confirmed to be here tonight.
Perfect. Right.
So every seat is filled. Every seat is contested. So it should be pretty interesting. We're going to be as fair as possible. Every candidate, I'm told, is going to have an opening statement. I should get into the details. Christian will get into the details.
You'll get into the details. Awesome.
Yes.
No, yeah, but I actually got to take a peek out there, and it looks great out there. I mean, all the seats and the banners and everything.
It's very nice. And again, I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but I want to thank our sponsors for really making this possible, because having this here in the Downey Civic Theater and live streaming this and having the production, the cameras, it's not free, it's not cheap. But our sponsors, PIH, Downey Federal Credit Union, and Downey Brewing Company really made this possible, and they didn't have to, but they're investing in the community. So we're very grateful to do this. I'm excited.
I'm totally looking forward to this. And do you think that we're going to continue having these in the upcoming years?
I hope so. I hope so. I think this year was, every city council election is important, but this year we have 9 candidates running, so I think it was extra important this year. I also want to remind the audience that we're taking questions from social media. So if you're on our Facebook page, if you're on our Twitter, it's @DowneyPatriot, even on our Instagram page, send us questions. At the end of the debate, if we have time, Christian will be asking your questions to the candidates. So send them to us. Keep it professional, and we'll try to get all of your questions.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I think that's great too. So to definitely be able to have the residents come in and ask their own questions, because they have a lot to say as well. So yeah, that's great.
Absolutely, I think sometimes we forget that this event is for the residents. This is for them. This isn't for us. This isn't for the candidates. This is for the residents of Downey. I mean, we have 111,000 residents, and everybody gets a vote. District 5, with Alex Saab and Art Gonzalez, that's a citywide election. Everybody can vote. So there's no excuse not to be prepared, not to be involved. And there's no reason not to vote in this election. It's going to be really important.
Right. No, exactly, and especially we're such a small. There's many of us, but it's such a small tech community. So it's great for us to be able to just see that transparency and know what's going on within the community. So yeah, having this event is extremely important to all of our residents, not the ones currently, but even for our youth. For them to be able to see this as well.
Absolutely. And the Mayor Pro Tem kind of touched on it, but the South Rancho campus is going to be redeveloped. Who knows when, but it's in the process. So that's going to be very huge for the city of Downey. And I think residents should really take a stake in it, and they should really be, have a voice in it. And so that's going to be really, really big coming up. Intro? Or are we introing? Okay, so we're about to start the debate. You enjoy it. If you have questions, tweet us and let us know. Have a good time. Thank you.
Enjoy.